not to be mischievous, but I don't think any telco in Ghana currently offers 5G services.
Yes. Majority of the people are under 3G or 3G, or I want 3G or less. Majority of Ghanaians, majority are meaning more than 50%.
So with a typical Ghanaian fintech user, when they create an account on your app, they put in money,
Withdraw the money.
and they withdraw the money.
Wait for a while.
And they put it back.
Put it back.
And then see that it is there. And they go and withdraw it again and put it back
Just to
before
be
they
sure.
before they start using it.
I think one exciting thing about this program is technology journalism.
Yeah.
I don't think we have a company in Ghana that is focused on that. Oh, we do? Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't want to mention the name, it's okay. Call is not happening. It's not happening on GSM.
Yeah.
Call is not happening on WhatsApp.
Internet
It's happening.
protocol.
Like today, on my way here, somebody called me on Facebook. I was surprised. Like, yeah, I was surprised. Like, who calls on Facebook? But I saw it. So I was like, hey.
Hello everyone, welcome to Building Bytes, where we tell relevant stories about Ghana's tech ecosystem to drive growth and innovation. This is a show recorded with production support from Haptel Academy. Welcome guys to
Thank you.
a
Welcome.
new episode.
Welcome, yeah.
Thank
I'm very
you.
excited about this episode.
Yeah.
How are you guys doing?
Doing well. I thought we missed introducing ourselves.
Okay.
Earlier we were doing that often, but let's.
Yeah,
I know
okay.
whether
So I'm Yao.
Co-host of Building. I'm a host of Building Bytes.
I don't think I'm a co-host. I'm a host.
The host. Okay.
We are all hosts.
We are all hosts, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, this session we are all hosts. So I'm Caleb, host of Building Bytes.
I'm Akweley and host of Building Bytes.
Welcome to the show. Let's get started. So I think I want us to talk about a few things before we actually get into the meat of the discussion.
Okay.
So the first thing is we are very proud about the things you're doing online. And I mean, you just recently got an award. You can talk about everything, what was about, and just like
Okay, so I was on LinkedIn one afternoon. I had just made a post and I was just interacting with my friends just so that the post would be boosted.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And I got an email that's on LinkedIn from Gifty.
Okay, so a LinkedIn
Email.
message is called email.
Yes.
I'm not doing this. Anyway, I didn't know.
Okay, yeah.
Email, okay.
I
So-
did that.
You know, I didn't know.
Yeah.
LinkedIn expert or LinkedIn. How do you call it? LinkedIn mentors or LinkedIn what? Influencers.
Influencers.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, so Gifty is from West Lion Co.
Okay.
And they organized this Africa Tech. What was the name of that event? Tech Entrepreneurship Summit.
Okay.
Yes,
In
at
Ghana.
the British Council.
Okay.
Yes, it is their third edition as an event, but then this 35 under 35 awards was their first. Yeah, so that means that over the past years they had been awarding entrepreneurs, mostly focused on female entrepreneurs.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
So this award was Africa's Promising Female Entrepreneurship Award. So
Wow.
35 under 35 Africa's Promising Tech
Wow,
Entrepreneur.
that's interesting.
So usually when I hear of awards or when I see awards, there's usually a whole nomination process.
Yeah.
There's a time for people to vote
Yeah.
and all that. And I think they did have a nomination window open. I mean, when she reached out to me, I did a little bit of research and I realized that they did have a nomination period, and I missed that. But then what she said was that, I mean, see, Akweley, you already know what you're doing,
Yeah.
and so this is a handpicking from them. So they did a nomination. They also handpicked a few tech entrepreneurs, and I happen to be one of them. Yeah. So thank you very much, West Lion Co, for this honor. Appreciate it.
Cool stuff.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Awesome.
There's an empty.
No,
Kind
but
of-
for the MT guy, there's an in-person one.
There's a,
You were at the
yeah.
Mr.
So
Fido.
last
Wow.
week, by the time we record, it will be last week.
Yeah.
So yesterday I went to a mixer
Yeah.
at Fido's head office in Accra.
Yeah.
I think it's the only office in Accra.
Yeah.
And it was a very interesting evening for me. Quality time spent, right?
Okay.
I met a lot of people. Key highlight was I met two devs at Fido, two senior devs at Fido. I had a very interesting conversation with them. I only want to highlight some of the things I spoke about, but we plan to do an episode with them. So I think when they come on set, you get to understand why that conversation was interesting. And I met a lot of techies, and I also met a lot of people listening to our podcast.
Okay.
And it was very so I'll just be there and someone will come. Okay, you look familiar. And you mentioned Building Bytes. I said, okay, Building Bytes. Yeah. It was a very nice evening, and I think we need more of such events too. And if there's one happening every Friday,
you go.
It won't be bad.
Okay.
It won't be bad at all. If there's one
Marketing.
happening every Friday, it won't be bad at all. It was a good one. It was a good one. Yeah.
Awesome.
So is this a push for the tech hubs, communities to be happening?
Yes. I think
to be having
especially
these events?
So especially in Accra, where there's a lot happening, and there are a lot of professionals who are here.
Yeah.
And we know most people like to chill. Yeah. Me, I don't. So for those people and who are techies, at least let's hang around people who are also techies who understand.
But isn't that also a chilling?
Yeah, that's also a chilling. But with techies, I mean, they understand your API. They can relate better if you have jokes. Yeah, you can relate better. So I think if you can have something like that, like every Friday, please, every Friday. If you do and Paystack can make it happen every Friday, I think people will be there.
That's good.
How's the turnout?
It was impressive. The numbers were good, and I could see like a lot of people around, OGs, newbies, mid-levels, like almost everybody was there. It was a good one.
That's great. That's good. Yeah, so there's a missing guy here, obviously, so missing seat. So the guy named Poga, also host of Building Bytes, is on his way to the African Tech Festival in Cape Town. So we've told him, we've warned him that if you come with our content,
you should shoot.
You should shoot.
No, we didn't say he should to go.
Everything. We know we didn't pay for his tickets for him, but he should do that before he comes back. So I'm not going to share much on it. I just that's why he's away for now. So look out for probably our next episode, our next video. We'll talk about.
We'll have to put a plug in there for
for
the
him.
trip. Yeah. So what are some of the things that have been happening in our ecosystem?
Okay, so the first thing is Ghana launches 5G internet service. So Ghana is the 5th West African country to launch. And so we have forerunners like Gambia, Togo, Cote d'Ivoire, and Nigeria. And Next Gen Infraco, that's the consortium that is handling this 5G internet service, rolled out, or they mentioned that they have rolled out in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi.
The choice of West.
They said they've rolled out. Okay.
Yeah, in Accra, Kumasi, and Takoradi. So that's the news.
Okay, I can't verify it. Maybe my phone doesn't allow 5G. Sorry.
But not to be mischievous, but I don't think any telco in Ghana currently offers 5G services.
Yes. I mean, the point is that if even 4G, we are not getting like many people use it or many phones to access it.
Are you sure?
Majority of the people are under 3G or 3G or I want 3G or less. Majority of Ghanaians, I mean more than 50%, are around 3G and less. Not because maybe they don't want to get this. I mean, for some of them, it could be the phone cap. Others to device. I mean, others to it could be location. That kind
location could be a big.
Yeah, location could actually be a bigger one.
Yeah.
So we are struggling with, connectivity for 4G, and we are going 5G. Maybe we are futuristic as a country, so that's a good thing. Maybe to another sense, we should just also look to getting more adoption and penetration on the internet. I mean, more.
I think it's a mix. 5G will allow us to do that, right? Because in terms of the capacity of the network, right? Most likely it's going to be faster, and also how the infrastructure is being set up. Telcos are involved from day one, right? It means that you are going to have access to rollout services. Probably they are going to decide the pricing and what's not of it. And once, like almost everybody has it, the pricing is going to be competitive.
Which everybody's not going to have it now. That's the point.
Let's assume
everybody's not going to have it for a very long time.
Okay, let's assume when they start, everybody might have it, which is going to drive price down. In that instance,
data prices
down. In that instance, we the customers, we win. And I think for the company implementing the infrastructure, Geo, which is one of the biggest
Indian
one of the biggest telcos in India.
Okay.
And we've seen the work they've done in India. And I think if it's that same quality of service which they are importing or we are going to provide here, I think it's going to like increase internet penetration. And I'll look at it from that point of view.
Yeah. I hope like it achieves, internet penetration for, I think that's the major goal.
Yeah.
It's not just about getting high speed and
Not at
maybe
all.
your customers cannot even get high speed. That's usually what happens.
Yeah.
You are building with high speed internet, but the users sometimes don't
They
even
don't
have
have
that
access
kind
to
of
that.
internet. So let's hope
Done
everybody-
animation sentence.
they can watch
You
it.
can't see it.
And let's hope that MTN, which is the biggest telco, would at least get access to 5G.
We hear
And
they were
then
physically
they're still-
present.
Yes, we don't know whether they are part of it, but we heard they are
I
present.
want to leave it like they are physically present.
present. Yeah. So, if you are from MTN, you are watching and listening, you want to confirm whether you are participating in the 5G.
Please let
It's
us
not-
know. And please reduce the data prices. Thank you. All right, the next item in the news is Ashesi's investment in Django Capital. So Ashesi officially becomes the first investor in Ghana to invest in a VC that supports tech entrepreneurs, and I think this really great. What do you guys think?
I think it's also from the endowment fund as well. So,
Yeah, it's from the
for those who
endowment
know the big schools like Harvard, Yale, most of those big universities, they usually have an endowment fund, and that's where they invest and recoup the money so they can give scholarships and all that. So, for Ashesi being a school that drives on scholarship and all that, creating an endowment fund is great. And also, not just creating it, investing it in a Pan-African investment
VC,
firm, VC firm, who happens to invest in tech. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Because even with what they've started, that is even new, they are still investing in new space where we can't even assure of the maximum returns. But taking that bet, it's a vote of confidence that the ecosystem has opportunities. They have schools backing them, they have investors backing them, and now they have funds backing them.
Yeah.
Now it's not going to be just business advice. Now you could get grants coming or funding coming in as well. So that's good news for them. Wish them all the best.
I like it. I like what they're doing, and especially because it's reported that Ashesi gets the most. Their graduates get the most employed, and so the
Percentage wise,
the percentage wise, and so the few who would go into entrepreneurship would also get some level of support. From the Django. I hope that's the plan. Yeah, so I'm very excited about that. And I really subscribe for all the investees to join.
I'm touching on that. So,
Okay.
I like how she said it politely, like I really subscribe.
I like your choice of words. How you feel.
Yes.
So it's a good thing that a Ghanaian investor is doing this.
Yeah.
And we hope and believe it's the first of many.
Yep.
So KNUC produce a lot of tech entrepreneurs and entrepreneurs in Libra. Could be the next one.
Yeah.
Legon could be the next one.
Yeah.
My university could be the next one.
What's your university?
TT, Technical University.
Okay.
Could be the next one.
Yeah.
So it shouldn't just end at just Ashesi.
Yeah.
We want a lot more of it so that we can all drive this ecosystem forward.
And in case maybe your university, from a university that is doing something we don't know about it, you can just share with us a story, a link, or tell us what you're doing. We'll be glad to
highlight
share it online, highlight it as well. Yeah, great.
Okay. All right. So the next one is Wahu and Letshego's partnership. Yeah. So they partnered with Letshego last week. That's 1st November. It appeared in the news on that. I'm sure the partnership procedures started before that. Yeah. And this is really great. Yeah. For Wahu, congratulations, Wahu.
I think Valerie.
Valerie, yes.
Zabi, yeah.
They've been in the news
They have a
this
streak
month.
on this show. This is their second streak on this show.
Yeah. They've been mentioned in the show a lot of times. Yeah.
The last episode they were mentioned.
VC funding. Yeah.
I think Letshego and Wahu coming together to form this partnership and adopt more people using tech and with credit as well. It's a good direction for the country, for the ecosystem. I believe maybe we've not highlighted it well, but one of the major penetrations we've had in the country is electric bike adoption. And Wahu has played a key part in it. Now, seeing electric bike is not a surprise to me. Because on an average, I see like maybe 3 or 4 in the short time I spend outside. So it's nice knowing that they are driving this kind of adoption in the ecosystem. And that's the point we want to make. When we talk about tech, it's not just those we click online and all that. Sometimes some could be products, whether it's hardware products and all that. So we want to see that kind of adoption in the ecosystem. Wherever you are, if you are doing some great work, like let us know it. We would love to highlight it.
Talking about
Wahu
talking about hardware, Stefan made a tweet, I think during the week, asking if you are interested.
That's the damn tech guy.
Yeah, damn tech guy. If you are interested in having hardware teams, then what the more Fridays, and it's quite interesting. You are mentioning hardware, the growth of hardware.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I think we are open to having a hardware teams demo.
Yeah.
That would be like a more interesting one, like having whether a bike or a machine or something.
Robotics team.
Robotics team. I'm looking to have it.
I'm excited about the partnership because I think Letshego is more like I'll say a legacy company.
Yeah.
And then Wahu is a new tech company.
Yeah.
And they've married together and they are doing something. It also goes to say like it's possible for OG companies, legacy companies to also partner.
Exactly.
Look out for right partnership and then make it happen. We want to see a lot more of that in the Ghanaian ecosystem.
Really looking forward to
I really wonder how that happened though, because I thought bureaucracy was everywhere. How did
maybe we don't have the details of
how long that has been.
How long the conversation.
You just want to leave it there.
Yeah. And the final news item is MTN Ghana reports a 12.7 billion revenue for Q3, which is 32% year-on-year increase in their service revenue. So that from the news we see that data is a contributing factor. They're gaining a lot of revenue from data. However, calls seem to be coming down. I don't know. So what do you guys think about this?
We can go first.
I say I mean, MTN has done like impressive work. Like we really admire the work you've done in the ecosystem. Sincerely, tech ecosystem in Ghana could not grow this fast or cannot grow this fast without MTN. It's. I think you can take me to court on this. I agree with them. Whatever.
Numbers don't lie.
Yeah, they've done really well, and seeing the growth in it. I mean, we mentioned call is coming down. The truth is that call is not coming down. Call is not happening. It's not happening on GSM.
Call
is not happening on WhatsApp.
Internet.
It's happening. Like today on my way here, somebody called me on Facebook. I was surprised. Like, I was surprised. Like, who calls on Facebook? But I saw it. So I was like, hey. So in accepting the call, I had to accept like only one time, only this time, allow all time. Like those microphone accept. Because I never had a call on Facebook. So
interesting.
As a Ghanaian, someone in Ghana.
Yeah, someone in Ghana. Not even out of the country. Someone in Ghana. So one of the things you realize that the things are happening, but they are happening on another way, in another medium. So the calls are taking place, but they are not taking place. I mean, on your normal GSM line, like probably like 70 to 80% of the calls I have with my dad, it's on WhatsApp. Not on like normal call.
And these days I call you on WhatsApp.
You call like you call me WhatsApp every time. I think it's getting to a point you have to accept that like maybe I'm not going to call anyone on the GSM line. You're not going to do call
unless they're in the village.
Yes, maybe it doesn't get there, or you don't know who they are. They're not your friends. That's why you call them on GSM. So that's a good one, and kudos to them.
But what does it mean for companies?
It means start building your business or your products with data. Data in the sense of building it online. So if GSM lines are dropping off and data is rising, GSSD, all those things are dropping off, and data is rising, then find a way to play a part of it. If you are an SME or a big business or anything, like find a way to come online. Don't worry whether you're not selling well now or not. Like just come online. Because sometimes you coming on first is even an advantage. Just because you're on, you're not doing anything exceptional. Like I was telling someone over the week that some of our top Twitter influencers and things, and even social media influencers, including TikTok and all that, they are influencers because they came on early.
I only want to have this conversation.
I
want to have it offline, not here.
Some of them came on very early. I mean, some to put in a lot of work. So that I think that should be acknowledged. So businesses, like, try your best and do something online. Don't wait for the perfect time.
I mean, it's impressive that MTN Ghana is almost always in our news.
I mean, they're doing a fantastic work.
At this point, the team cannot say it. MTN come and sponsor
us. We beg. Anyway, thank you very much. And that's what happened in tech. Over to you, Yaw.
Thank you. So today we are doing something interesting. We hosted. So I think if you've been listening to the show or you're listening and watching us, you know we have a book coming up, a Ghana Tech Playbook, and we hosted a preview of it at Ghana Digital Innovation Week.
Yep.
So they want to touch on a number of selected insights from the conversation.
Yeah.
So do have you in the background? I don't know if you want to touch on what the book actually is.
Yeah, so the book is going to be or is about how tech businesses, tech careers have been created in Ghana. Basically, how people have succeeded with it, some too have failed with it, but they found a way to bounce back. So we found it necessary to highlight how this can be. We don't want to create an industry where always people have to start from like ground zero. Yeah. We believe we should get to a point where you can pick a playbook, you can get stuff on one. Because if you realize like what makes some countries good that we want to travel there, as most Ghanaians are traveling now, most young Ghanaians are traveling now, is because they have like they say infrastructure, they have a system, they have things that are working. If we don't take in the pain to develop those infrastructure, those systems, we'll always be starting from zero. And I think the goal for the Ghana Tech Playbook is to help us avoid starting from zero and probably start from one. That's for me.
We want to touch.
Yeah, so like Caleb, you mentioned, if someone was starting a company in Ghana and they had a Ghana Tech Playbook, it would do them a lot of good. And what we are compiling a wealth of knowledge, and it's more like living in a village with your grandmother. You learn a lot about life than you would have if you were living elsewhere. So I think that's how I liken it, and that's how people should receive it. So our audience, if you're listening to us, do make sure you are joining us for our Demo Friday mixer. Okay, we are going together.
We'll get it.
But yeah, so just think of it like that, and that's exactly what it's going to be doing. So, and we hope we'll be, what's it called? Updating as time goes on.
We'll be updating.
Hopefully we don't just have software tech, but we have lessons from hardware tech as well.
I think that's a good note.
So from the preview, I think we highlighted some case studies which has to do with career and then startups. Today what I want us to do, or what we are going to do, is more focused on just the insights. So we've picked a couple of them. So we'll start with the insights. We'll give a background to the insight, and then we'll talk into why it really matters. So the first one is a call for having bold founders. And to give a background on that, I think it's a phrase which has cut across about 3 episodes. So on the Alex Brown episode, there was a call for bold founders. On Paul Damali's episode, there was a call for bold founders. On Yaw Bediako's episode, there was a call for bold founders. And if 3 people are saying the same thing, not because we asked them, do you think we have bold founders, but generally, what do you think about the ecosystem? We think is an important insight to look about it and think about it. But what do you guys? How do you guys see it?
So I think Alex mentioned bold, not in the sense that you are very courageous. Absence of fear, kind of bold. Upfront and all that. But you are willing to take risks at places where there are, less opportunity, less popular, and doing things that are not, so that will not always go in the limelight, but you are still persevering with your team, and you are always, of course, in touch with the ecosystem. Especially when it comes to regulation. So we definitely need bold founders, and if you are starting up as an entrepreneur, you'll probably be, you somehow feel intimidated, especially because of the kind of environment you'll be in, the kind of friends, or even the idea you're actually working with and how viable it will be. So it's definitely important that we empower people with this knowledge of boldness and speaking your truth, doing your research, and being in the research, you know. So yeah, I think this is a very great insight to touch on, and I'm really looking forward to how it will play in the application. Yeah.
So I mean, for most of our guests that came on, I remember their board was definitely sometimes solving like a very sometimes difficult, sometimes new, sometimes one without much data. I mean, for your Bidiako,
Yeah.
it was a problem. I mean, that was like I think cancer in males, right?
Yeah.
Male organs. So the male reproductive organ, then the cancer around that because he lost his dad through that, and he mentioned that there was not much data for that kind of for black men to start with in cancer treatment. So it was difficult. First of all, like treating a person's cancer because you don't have data to back your enough data to back your treatment, and that can be doubting. Maybe that cancer is big for you, but whatever problem you are solving, whether in your career or your business, if you want to succeed in the ecosystem and do it well, don't be afraid taking like bold decisions. And some of the bold decisions could be doing things that are not in the limelight, that will not get a lot of attention, that people will not pay much,
sexy,
that will not be sexy. Like that is not attractive to anyone. But take that step. And as I started, I also was thinking about this in another form. Both two could mean taking on competitors who you think are not doing well.
Okay.
Because at least what you have validated is that there is a market for your product. But how are you going to be better than your competitors? And that means also taking bold steps.
You could be number two.
Yeah, it could be number two.
The best number two.
Yeah, best number two. But at least you bring some kind of touch or spark into the ecosystem. And sometimes we need those kind of things. I mean, there was nothing wrong with automobile industry until like Tesla came up with all this.
I actually think there's like a case study of a good number two in Ghana, which ended up becoming number one, and it's number one now. Mikasa. So when Mikasa started, there was Jumia Homes, and it didn't make any sense to go after Jumia Homes at the time when Jumia had almost every VC in their corner, and then it became a good number two, and after that ended up buying Jumia Homes, and right now they're like a good number one.
Even when it comes to like SMS delivery, I mean, there were earlier companies who were in the SMS delivery space not until other ones also came in and built good businesses out of it. Good business. I mean, we know Haptel started with SMS. But as time goes on, 10, 15 years later, we have people like M-Notify in, we have people like Nalo in. All these people are even selling the same product. But they find ways of selling to other people. And also getting people adjusted to that kind of service. I think that's like the major thing. When a lot of people can use the service, they can use it. And that's why I think the whole idea of like UI, user experience, user interface is becoming important now. Because now with AI, like you can do a lot of things, but what will make people do the thing with your product? What will make people do the thing like with your product? And that's like a key point.
True.
So be bold.
I think with also the boldness in reference to Alex's case was also the call for not quickly going out to look for money. So the bold could be that what you are solving, the problem you are solving, you could actually make money from your client. Not necessarily VC. So that's also another call for bold.
For grants.
Another call for bold. Awesome. So the next insight which I pretty much like a lot is do not use the playbook of the West. So I give a little bit of background. I think that has also cut across a lot. But one place which I really related to it was when we spoke with Arino Drew. So she mentioned it's not every business which will grow fast, which will grow rapidly. And even in the Ghanaian context or the African context, 5 years could be I'm finding what will work years, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be 1 year, you are 10x things, 50x things, and things like that. And that was just an aspect of growth. And also an aspect of raising funds. So maybe in your first 5 years, you could be chasing grants and things like that. Not necessarily VC funds. I don't know what you guys think about this.
I think not using the West playbook. Truthfully, a lot of successful tech companies in Ghana
don't use that
playbook. Like, or if they do that at a later stage, not in the initial stage. I mean, when you think of even companies like ZP, who didn't raise a lot of funds to maybe like later in their career or later in the business trajectory, they raised like funds. A lot of the work was, understand that it was hard work, was a local work and getting that relevance locally. I mean, until maybe 4 years ago, Zippo was not even like a home name, even though their services were being used by a lot
Almost
of people.
everybody used their services.
Everybody was using, who was getting
Receiving
returns,
money.
was using it.
Yeah.
But they didn't even know the name.
Yeah.
Because they didn't just focus on being loud out there. They focused on getting the work down there.
Doing right.
And if you check any other local business, I mean Ghanaian tech business, you find out that a lot of like groundwork were covered. People were using the services without even knowing. And that's, I think, I don't know whether it's a positive or a negative about it, but I think generally like Ghanaian tech companies are not really loud like that. Even for, I mean, example like Houghtel as well. Until maybe post 2020, there are not many like Houghtel billboards and signboards and all that. So all of a sudden,
maybe it's the stage, the growth stage.
Yeah, but the point is that it doesn't mean the company is not doing well.
True.
So if you're a founder, you are building a career, or you're working in a particular field, and you're not out there, but your work is out there, I think you should be satisfied doing that. Yeah, don't be bothered if they're not really mentioning your name like you wish to do, because sometimes
I think it also depends on what type of
service you're also providing. Definitely,
if it's infrastructure, I mean, no one really cares. You're getting your money either ways.
Yeah.
If it's consumer, I think you should be a little bit worried.
Yeah, but the point is, like, don't try to do it with the West playbook, like growth at all costs.
Yeah.
When the cost becomes is not all, then you realize that the growth must be taken seriously. Else you'll be growing and there's no, like, as I mean, recently I saw from M-Pharma, no positive cash flow. So you're growing. When VCs cut their money, your business is going down. Because now you can't even keep up with the growth. You've grown immature. So I think like that is a key point we need to highlight. Yeah, it's nice reading about like YC. Some of us we still go to YC. It's nice getting from international investors. Yeah, I mean it's great. But let's not necessarily build our businesses on like their formula. It's nice, it's worked. Let's find out what's working here too.
Yeah. And with what you've said about focusing on building, most of the time we are always in a rush to get our first 1,000 customers, right? We think in the first year we'll reach like 300,000 people who will be using our platform, you know. I mean, we love that kind of courage, but if you don't meet that goal, I mean, that's okay.
What is for?
Yeah, because buttressing what you said, Caleb, let's focus on the work actually being done. You know, Ghanaians, we are very interesting people, right? If the thing is working and we realize that it's working, we are going to stick with it. And it will be very difficult to change our minds, right? I mean, so yes, change has its good and bad sides, right? Yeah. So there's something you have to learn about Ghana's tech ecosystem. And so, yeah, focus on building, making sure it works. And it's also, I mean, makes us want to focus more on, like you said, grants, seeing how we will be able to position ourselves, because the nature of grants is impact. And most of our work as entrepreneurs in, I mean, a country like Ghana, we are mostly impacting our own communities and all that. So how do we position ourselves to qualify for grants that will support our work? Look at the teachers working in the schools, and as a young entrepreneur, you want to support their work. Or look at the fact that you are helping your father in the farm. How do you help him to boost his growth in agribusiness and all that? So, I mean, a couple of my friends are working around, I mean, grants training, because, you know, people keep getting grants in Ghana and hiding it, right?
They don't
really
talk
much. Grants is different from VC. So if you want a grant, come out. Let us know how you did it. How did you structure your story? How were you able to, I mean, meet all the requirements and all that? So yeah, this brings us to the attention that we can still get the work done, not necessarily having equity, VCs and all that, but also getting funding, even if it's not bootstrapping from our families, from grants as well.
So the next insight is seeking guidance and then mentorship. So I think this has to do a lot more with career. So I'll give the background again. So I think we saw this a lot more in Benjamin Saki's episode, where he said at the time where he used to work at Haptel, he had plans to be a product manager as a product designer, and then internally he was shadowing folks who were product managers and then seeking guidance, and then through that he was able to grow. Right now he does both product management and product design, and then we can see he's a product leader now. And I think is one insight that somewhat cuts across almost majority of people we've spoken to who have grown in their career line of work also. We want to highlight.
Yeah, I think that is key for people like building careers in tech. As we've said, and we are saying again, the West playbook doesn't work easily. I mean, it's difficult for you to find out the email address of maybe MTN CEO or M-Pharma CEO. MTN maybe is easy because they are public listed. Like let's say M-Pharma CEO. First name and double name. And reach out that, I want to work in your place, and it's easy to get those places.
Probably the reply will be where the issue will be.
Yes. You can get to the same, but probably you not get that kind of reply, the reply you expect. But in the case of like seeking guidance, especially starting from those close to you, like it works. If you're building a career, don't try to go far. You see, it's interesting. Like sometimes we look for the things we want from far places. When there are
if it's close to you, you don't
value it. And I think Benjamin's case like highlights that point that sometimes the closest people to you to you can help you find that trajectory of life you want, that career you want. Even aside Benjamin, I think there were other people who mentioned that they even follow other people in other areas, like in gaming. So everyone mentioned how he searched online to find someone.
Was it Kenyan?
Yeah, Kenyan. Yes. So he checked online, found a Kenyan friend, a Kenyan person who was also good in gaming, and that's how they came together to start their company, even without meeting. So, like, let's do our best to seek guidance, starting from those closest to us. Like product management is not. There's no degree in Ghana teaching product management. There's no even certificate in Ghana teaching product management. There's no certificate in Ghana teaching product design. There is no proper set in Ghana. Even doing like, I don't want to say software development because now every school wants to teach that, but there's really no school doing like
software engineering. I don't think there's any.
There's no school doing that. We've created things in the bulk areas and it's fine.
Computer science, yes, but
software engineering. Computer science is not necessarily software engineering. So if you find people like in this field, like try and learn from them. Try and get attached to them, their work, see what they are doing, find out how they did it, and do it. Some of these people have taken probably like a decade to even find themselves in those careers.
Yeah.
So for you,
they've seen almost
seen it all.
Like they've seen it all. They've built like different kinds of products, different industries, work with different people. I think that is more helpful than sometimes, just listening to like the Western videos that's telling you like how to build this, how to network. Yeah, some of them definitely they make like sense because it's common. I mean, it's common sense, so they make sense. But
so like you need some local
some context to it.
So if you go and watch a video on how to do user testing for like an European context, it might be different.
Yeah.
Locally, it might also be different.
Yeah.
You have to talk to people who have done it before.
Yeah.
Get a better understanding how to approach them, what questions to ask. What setting is good to have a conversation.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah. Yeah. And to buttress what you said, the West mostly highlights on online resources and virtual meetings and all that. However, in Ghana here, we see a lot of hubs popping up to specialize in some of these tech careers. So you could access some of these hubs. We have there are quite a lot. We'll probably list them.
70 songs.
70 plus hubs.
There are programs
across. I think every region has about more than one.
Every region has about 3.
That's impressive.
Like 3 per region. That's like impressive.
There was a time that it was just like one hub, the whole of Ghana. iSpace.
Yeah. iSpace started in 2011, right?
Probably before.
I know it's 11 years ago.
11 years ago.
So then, that's around that time.
Mest will probably be there. Like Mest will be like 2007, 2008.
So Mest is not like a hub.
Yeah, it wasn't like a hub.
So do join some of these hubs, and when they have community events, do participate and listen to podcasts. Subscribe to Building Bytes.
Come to Demo Fridays.
Come to Demo Fridays. Honestly, see, if you've not come to Demo Fridays before, note it down. December when?
December 20th.
20th. note it down, December 20. Tell your friends, tell your colleagues to come. I think one person mentioned to me that it was during Demo Friday that that was the first time he saw like a very big, I don't want to mention the startup's name, but like that founder there.
Yeah.
So that's where you really get to meet. That's where you really get to meet the people, and you may find out that just a short, someone just contributing something short to you in terms of conversation, or just listening to a panel, you realize a lot of things. You realize that there are some mistakes you're about to have that you would have avoided just by coming for Demo Friday. And I think this buttresses your point about companies having Friday events. Yeah, so it's one thing you are going to learn in the Ghana Tech Playbook.
If the companies can't host it, we have the capacity to host it. Yeah.
Okay, so companies should let us.
We can partner to make it happen.
Yeah, so please do. We have a call for partnership. We are going to mention it down the line. But now that we are talking about it, we are looking for companies who would want us to come and have events at your or
collaborate with you.
Or collaborate with you in terms of resources, the leadership. You want to share your knowledge, share how it's going in your companies, how to guide people to start if they are starting off from your shoes, what they will do that would propel their journeys. So yes, there's something that I think is very unique for us as a country. Ghana is mostly a community based culture, right? You realize that as a child, the whole village is training you. The whole village is making sure that you are growing, and we are realizing this as people who host events. So it's also one interesting insight we've gathered.
Right. Cool. I don't know if I'm tempted to touch on that before I move to the next thing.
Okay.
But I have a feeling if you are building anything, especially in Ghana, and you don't attach a community to it,
it'll be different.
Chances of you having any chance of success is very slim. Maybe it's an insight, maybe probably add something, but
community is
it's important.
It's very important.
It's not like community is the product.
No, but community is important.
Actually, that's very true.
Or maybe it's another product for founders.
Yeah.
Founders need that product to work.
So the next insight is tell an authentic story. So I'll give you a background again. So when we spoke to Letty Art CEO Aram, he had a very interesting story.
What's Letty Art for those who don't know?
So Letty Art is a gaming and animation studio in Accra. They've been running for over a decade. So they create games. I think they were first to create an African superhero game on Play Store and places like that. So when we spoke to Aram, he mentioned he's a Mester, so he went to Mest. And I think he was one of the first, not the first batch, second batch.
Yeah, second batch.
So when he joined the program, he joined as an EIT.
And entrepreneur in training.
Yeah. And then through the interview process, he spoke to Yon, who is the founder of Mest, what he's done, the work he has done before the program. And through his authentic story. And then the work he's done, and he's done it, and there's results of it. After he got accepted, and then they went on a break. After that, when they came back, he became a fellow, which is to say he joined as a student. And then after the program, he became a lecturer. And it was all because of the authentic story he told back then, and he's still telling now. And I think what we think is a very interesting insight that almost anybody building something can learn from.
I think Yemachi Yabide spoke about it. His dad suffered from cancer. Prostate cancer, right? Or something along those lines. And he realized he was a microbiologist, but at that point, maybe he hadn't identified that as like something he could work on or something that he could align on. But from that experience, his whole career was built out of it. That's how come a business was built out of it. And now, when he shares that story, it communicates to users, it communicates to investors, it communicates to communities that like this is a problem worth solving. This is a problem that I'm not just saying I've experienced it. And I think we need a lot of founders, a lot of people in their career like sharing their story, telling us their good work. And I have a colleague at work that I tell her most time, or if not every time, that Charlie, share your work, talk about your work. I mean, you are doing great work, but if you're not talking
it's
about
not an
it,
easy thing, though.
yeah, it's not an easy thing, and I understand. But if you're not talking about it, you could lack the appreciation. You could lack the appreciation you need from people to contribute to your work, to support that work, and even to make a broader impact with that work. I think the Ghanaian culture, the Ghanaian tech ecosystem has been very humble in
Too humble.
telling this story. And this is a good time for us to tell our story. Like, wherever we get a chance, however way we get it. Last on Twitter, somebody was saying there's no industry. I mean, I don't want to argue about, like, there's no tech industry. I don't.
In Ghana.
Yes.
Are they serious? Are we a joke to them right now?
And the person was working in the tech company, so
Are we a joke?
I don't even want to, like, argue about that.
Who is
But-
that? Who is that?
Let me not argue about it.
Are we a joke?
I mean, the company is
Let me
also
look at it.
problematic.
Am I a joke?
No, but don't worry. Like, we need. Yeah, we understand you. Maybe we are not. There's no tech industry because you don't.
Please
know anything
don't
about it.
repeat that. There's a tech industry.
No, the person was even working in the tech company. So, like,
maybe
I don't know.
maybe what's his definition of industry, right? But
I think
there's
it's
a
not
tech
because we don't
industry.
talk about it. Like,
Yeah.
what makes an industry in
Yeah.
Nigeria or Egypt or Kenya? There's a lot of
Funny
PR
enough,
about it.
Yeah.
yesterday at the mixer, it was part of the extensive conversation I had with Fido guys. So for them, they feel there's a lot happening in the ecosystem, but people are not telling their stories.
Yeah.
enough.
Yeah.
And also, I don't think we have a lot of vehicles to tell those stories.
Yeah.
So possibly you have to create those vehicles first. It's good we have a platform like this, but we don't. This is not just enough.
Yeah.
We need more of this,
Yeah.
and then create that vehicle to tell the stories so that people will really see that. And if it wasn't for Haptel's director going on the podcast to mention they were making 62 million, you and I will not know.
No. Lots of people did.
Yes, so we need a lot more vehicles to tell our stories.
Yeah.
And I think we also have to be like appreciative of, like, you work in the companies. What do you
Yeah.
mean we don't have an ecosystem?
You work in a company in that industry.
He pays you
what is-
salary.
Please, I will beg you. Like, we know sometimes Twitter can have a lot of agenda, but we beg you, like, some of the comments. Yeah, take it
Okay.
easy. Take it easy. Make it well. Let us have a discussion. Don't just put statements out. Like, let's have a discussion, especially if you're in the tech industry. Like, let's tell some stories. Maybe all
Authentic
that-
stories.
All those
Authentic
Twitter.
stories.
This is how a company started. This. Find my next report. Maybe we have to be doing some of those threads.
Yeah,
Then
we should.
we should be doing some of those
Yeah.
those threads. If you have inside stories, be sharing some of those things. I see like a lot of people who have worked in some of this Facebook, Amazon, and those things. They tell a lot of those stories. So all of a sudden, you've not worked in that company, but I can have
Extensive
some
knowledge.
difference.
yes extensive knowledge to it. And I think we're at a point we need more of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, not just for us locally, but to the world. I mean,
Yeah.
to the world.
And it's great. It's a lesson for us, and it's something that for you, if you're starting, you need it because storytelling. Humans are wired to tell stories. However, like Caleb mentioned, Ghanaians are too humble. Aside the fact that Nigerians are a lot, it's really PR. Okay.
You know, we've had that conversation before where we said, if you study Nigerian companies, the founders know other 4 or 5 founders, and their partnerships are around that same circle.
Yes.
Their partnerships are around that same group of companies. In fact, we even, I don't know whether you remember, we mentioned some point that some of them, they are customers to the other companies, and their customers are
But it makes sense to sell in an ecosystem.
Yes.
Exactly.
Exactly.
And that is why we need to tell our stories on how we are making it locally, how we have $62 million revenue businesses in Ghana. People could argue about it, like how. In fact, I could argue that some of the unicorns in Africa, especially the ones coming from Nigeria, maybe most of them.
They have better businesses.
I mean, they have good businesses, but in line with like revenues, I could argue there are similar like companies making that kind of revenues in Ghana.
Yeah, it's true.
Just that they've not raised enough money to
They're
claim
not-
the
they're not
unicorns.
VC they're not VC
They're not VC companies.
Yeah.
But they make as much. I mean, millions of dollars like locally, and I believe like some of these companies need to come out and tell their stories. Like I nearly mentioned one,
Which one?
like IT Consortium.
Okay.
Like
I don't know a lot.
Yeah,
about-
they've done a lot. They've built the system for like we need them. I mean, until SoftDrive chairman, we lost him recently. Like we need to know what happened in SoftDrive. How I mean, in a country where there's no tech company, or there's probably like no tech company, and you start out a tech business and build it into one big one. Like we need those stories. You don't just want to have people pass by and be like, oh, they were the hero of the story, and there's like no one who has played part.
There's a story about him. I think one extensive story about him, and it wasn't from a Ghanaian publication. There was a paywall on it. I couldn't read it, unfortunately.
We let other people tell our stories, and I mean that has its good and bad sides, but mostly bad sides because they are not us, and they will never tell the story as as good, as true, as original, as authentic as we would if we were telling. So if you're starting a business, you'd want to start by sharing your work out there,
authentic one.
What happened in your company that week? I mean, how are you progressing? How are you making your next customers? If you're sharing that story, I mean, you would probably, I mean, at some point when you are faced with obstacles, you'll be discouraged, but you realize that people are actually there to help you and support you. So do that.
Just coming to mind, if you've studied probably like 1 to 2 years now, Greg of Farmer has been telling a story subtly on LinkedIn. Like he has been telling how they move cash flow, how they have to start.
What's his name again?
Greg Roxon.
Greg Roxon.
Yeah.
Okay.
He has been telling like their story, even some of the board meetings, employees, products.
Employee meetings, the one that backfire.
Employee meetings. Like you see, at a point, somebody has to tell the story. You have to do it consciously. Like, why would Mark Zuckerberg make time to launch demo their new product?
It's a public company, please.
No, but why? But why do you think?
Don't do that.
Doesn't he have all? Don't they have all the people to demo like their product? Like, have people who understand the product better than him. But at a point, you have to like tell a story, own the story. Like, why is this? I mean, Apple story is all tied to Steve Jobs. Just because like. Authenticity, like you don't believe it from you. It's the same thing, but they'll believe from the founders or the leaders in the business than any third party. And I think it's high time like we get people like sharing those stories. So it's like,
I think I want to commend Julian.
Julian of Build.
That's a whole series on YouTube. Fantastic work. Fantastic work.
Our last insight.
So our last insight is local context matters. So this has to do with building products, and then so there's a debate, or not a debate, but a school of thought. So in Africa or in Ghana, mostly, if you attempt to build with data alone, the chances of you making a mistake is very high. Because culture supersedes data in our context, and we've seen it multiple times. That, I mean, you just follow the numbers. Okay, so this is growing, but what's the culture behind it? What do people think about it and things like that?
I think Irene Drew of Verified Buyer spoke a lot about it, like how you need to grow or adapt or learn culture wise. Like taking culture out of a business is a big loss for us in maybe Africa or Ghana. Like you can lose big business just taking culture out. I feel like sometimes even businesses do well when it's even tied to, like, I mean, an example of the culture is like families. Like if you can get a family using a certain product, it's likely you have a certain loyalty, you have a certain recurring users, you even have a whole, like, they be like evangelists of your products. And it's all because of culture. Unlike other places where it's more nuclear or more individualistic, that when I use your product, I mean, I don't care whether I'll tell someone, I'll not tell anyone about it. But in Africa, if you get a community around it, it's a big thing.
Many people are using MTN because probably their mother
bought it
MTN and
bought it for them because they use MTN. So everybody in the family can use MTN. They can reach them easily. Like there are stories like that. People use even like broadband and all this because they're family. It takes time for Netflix, like family plan. And this is just one example of like the culture, but there are a lot. Even the way people spend, the way people save. I remember Uzefa of Achieve was telling us that when the month is ending, you know that withdrawal is going to be high because people have spent some of their savings already, so they're trying to withdraw. So it's culture. If you're a business that you forget that maybe towards the end of the month, I need to put in, I need to have a lot of cash. If you're fintech, I need to have a lot of cash so that people can withdraw. Your float should be good. You end up locking the business, I mean, doing normal business stuff, but now a challenge comes and you can't get it because most of those will be withdrawing cash. So that is like some of the things we need to understand about our culture. And I believe businesses starting now, if they prioritize some of these things, maybe growth will come in very earlier than we estimate.
And I mean, all the founders that we've spoken to share some of the insights. They tell you So you are going to fintech. You have to know that when it's coming to the end of the month, this is what you should expect as a company.
Yeah.
So before you make that mistake, you have some context to it.
Yeah.
And that is why there's the need for us to be sharing our stories, because we are putting together data that would be hands-on and something. I mean, it wouldn't be you are creating your pitch deck and you are putting data from like 12 years ago, because the people who are supposed to be telling the stories are not telling the stories. The people supposed to share their research are not sharing it. So please, I mean, as you're building your company, always put in your mind that Ghanaians have a very interesting way of behaving. I keep saying it, I don't know why, but if you are able to crack that, I'm sure that's what politicians have been using to win elections.
They are pulling the tracks and doing the benku, all those things, because they understand people
Okay,
enjoy
you are not
that. They feel like
politicized.
the man is on the
Some are
ground.
peeling, yeah.
Yeah, like only when it gets to election
Yeah.
time.
There's one insight Uzifa mentioned. I don't think it was on the pod, but it has to do with fintech, and I've heard it on. I think Affinity also experienced the same thing. So with a typical Ghanaian fintech user, when they create an account on your app, they put in money,
Withdraw the money.
and they withdraw the money,
Wait for a while.
and they put it back,
Put it back.
and then see that it is there, and they go and withdraw it again and put it back
Just to
before
be
they
sure.
before they start using it.
Yeah.
I don't think if you don't have this context and then you are building a fintech, you'll be worried.
But people are withdrawing.
People are withdrawing their monies.
Yeah.
It makes it important to like get in the local context.
Yeah.
Even on KYC, I mean, Affinity, Tariq mentioned that Affinity had to develop like not a new, but a sub KYC that can help them onboard customers easier and make it easier to onboard. And one of the things that they looked at, like, things like address, because here, first of all, the absence, you can't trust the address numbers. The ones that Ghana Post even do. The next time you come, they've changed your signage, because maybe they realize that the name of the street is not Tangerine, it's Popo. And some of these things you could miss out on it. So if you're asking a customer to do like KYC and you want all these things, you could lose customers easily, because the friction the friction of getting on will be high. So at every point, like, people are dropping on.
I think there are a lot of apps facing this challenge, right? I've downloaded a number of fintech apps recently because of my new work. And like, you are telling me to put in my KYC and what's not before I get started. And someone has solved this problem by breaking down the steps. So maybe you don't really necessarily need KYC to get started. But then get inside, see what's happening. Maybe you do a much bigger transaction, then you upgrade it.
I think even Emmanuel Dia Farmerline mentioned out how they, at a point when collecting data, they had to set automatic offline access to it, because some of the places is so remote that maybe where they are collecting data, if I'm on a farm, I might not get active internet access there.
True.
So if you need internet access to load the thing, then I can't get right data. But if I can save it even offline on the platform, and when it gets internet, it's automatically updates. Like, that is perfect. And I think at the point we even need like a lot of offline business. I mean, we discussed it that most African successful businesses have that hybrid kind of approach to
Ghana,
business.
I think an example we can cite is Affinity, right?
Yeah.
So offline and online, and
They are
it's working
getting users.
perfectly. They are growing.
Zipay, offline, online. They have like physical shops and physical stores and physical people.
Zipay have online.
Yeah, online. Say transfer, money transfer, at least.
No, it's not direct.
It's not direct, but like there's that. That there's an access point. Aside from using on your phone, you can get at a shop or a vendor or something. Like, that kind of combo is there a lot, and I think we need to like look at it and have it. Even M-Pharma and some of these. Yeah. You can buy in-store, online,
or
Moti on the app, and sign subscriptions on the app. And like, that combo works. So if you're a business and you're building around a like, figure out how can you build a business or a hybrid kind of product or something that could work online or offline. That would be like a major one. Yeah.
Because that's what the insight is saying.
That's it.
Great. Yeah. So this brings us to the end of Talking Bytes. So we'll move to opportunities and see what's happening there.
Okay, so the first opportunity we want to touch on is by us, the Building Bytes team, and this is the editorial apprenticeship program, which is a 3-month program that covers production management, social media management, tech content creator, technology journalism, visual design, web design, and newsletter editing and management. So we are going to be sharing. We've started sharing some of our flyers out. So if you're interested, the links as well. So if you're interested in any of these for this program, I think you can be in touch with us. Anyone wants to touch on it?
Put a link to in there.
So what are we expecting for product management? Production management.
There are lots of things you should be expecting in all this. Well, the major thing is I'm going to give you like hands-on experience on all these things. So if you're a visual designer, you get a chance to have some of your products. I mean, going out on some of the Building Bytes platform or even partner platform, you get access to mentors that will be with you at least 1 or 2 sessions every week. And you also get a colleague or a partner to be working with. So it's not just you in the silo, you have the whole team as well. And there'll be opportunities to be given out. You'll be getting access to some of the people we meet, or even all the people we meet on Building Bytes podcast. You get access to work with them and do some amazing work with them. So if you have some of these skills and or it's young or you're still trying to practice or get sharp, I think this is a good opportunity to build up on it, and we'll be glad to prepare you for the ecosystem. This is for the good of the ecosystem too.
I think one exciting thing about this program is technology journalism. I don't think we have a company in Ghana that is focused on that. Oh, we do? Okay. I'm sorry.
I don't want to mention the names. Okay.
So I think that we do have. We
believe we can support them.
We do have,
with the talent.
We have a number of them.
Okay.
But I think maybe the focus of their publications is quite different, and maybe it's not that loud for most of us. For like majority of tech people, that's why maybe we are not really seeing their presence. But I think we have a number of them.
Okay, so what I meant by that, I'm just standing to be corrected. I am not basically downplaying anyone's role.
Can't do that.
I mean, I'm just saying that the whole training is basically something that is lacking. People come up with content, of course, and share what is going on in our tech ecosystem, but I don't. Okay, let me just hold on with that. Yeah, so please.
But I think maybe you still might have a point, because I think there are two things. So there's tech reporting and there's tech editorial journalism, right? I think we don't have a lot of editorial tech journalism in Ghana. So there's only one sector I think we have editorial content on, which is telecom. So for that, I can mention Tech Focus 24. Like fantastic work. Upside down. I even think like the ecosystem came to meet him. He's been doing it for like 32 years. So for that editorial, like if you go there, you read the articles from up to bottom, you have like you can have wholesome understanding of, and we don't have a lot of that in software entrepreneurship. We don't have that. In other sectors, we don't have that. But telecoms, we are covered.
So that's what I meant, guys.
That's what she meant.
And we're also calling out for partners and sponsorship for our Demo Fridays 3.0. Caleb, do you want to touch on?
Yes. So we didn't plan to unveil this, but so the coming Demo Friday is going to be an interesting one. It's not going to be like any Demo Friday if you attended before. Not because it's a church or not because you're a pastor. A pastor said that this program is going to change your life. It's not going to be like any program. Yes. Demo Friday 3.0.
Pastor will watch.
Sorry, Pastor. Demo Friday 3.0 is going to be like a different one. In this one, we are going to have like breakout sessions or breakout groups where we have people or companies from different industries share and discuss what's happening in the ecosystem, how they are contributing, how they are supporting customers and clients, and what we can do to make it better. So we are going to have like different industries, different sectors, different personalities to even be part of the sessions on board. And it's not going to be like a typical Demo Friday where we have like a panel.
And then there's a panel.
Then there's a panel. No, this time there's not going to be like a panel. And there's going to be a lot of like networking and mixer experience as well. So it's going to be fun. And if you're a partner that you're in any industry, whether agri, fintech, e-commerce, telecom. If you are in any of those industries, or you are interested in any of these industries, then Demo Fridays 3.0 should be a good one. Yeah, this time you're going to have closer chance with all the panelists and the guests. There's no major panel.
Yeah. Okay.
Great.
I wanted you to touch on some of the activities. Yeah.
Oh, I think Caleb
Okay.
extensively.
Yeah,
And,
I'm most particularly
yeah.
excited about the arts. Yeah, and then where we would project into the future of tech. Yeah, so
That's actually the latter part of the year. So.
yeah, so please, if you're a tech company, not just tech company, but
I mean,
we're
you're
looking
interested in
for,
this industry.
yeah, you're interested in boosting and helping support the growth of the tech industry, please do partner with us and reach out via email.
Yeah, Building Bytes
We'll leave a link in the description.
In the description.
Building Bytes at gmail.
At gmail.com. Yeah. Or I think there's a call number on our website. Is there?
Call number?
There's no call number.
We don't have a call number.
Okay.
But I can reach out to any of
anybody. You can reach out to Akweley.
Reach out to me on LinkedIn. Reach out to any of us on LinkedIn. Reach out to Building Bytes.
No, reach out.
Okay. Yes. And I think we can make this work together.
Sure.
I think the next event is Tech in Ghana.
Yeah.
That is happening in 3 weeks' time. Are we having a session?
Yeah,
on
so
Tech in Ghana?
we'll be hosting what's it called? A small TV section.
Okay.
So Tech in Ghana and Building Bytes TV section. So
Yeah.
most of the people will be speaking at the event, and some of the participants will be coming there and they'll be speaking to them. I think it's something that we are very excited about.
Yeah.
Tech in Ghana is that event that everybody's looking forward to.
Yeah.
And almost every high level person who really matters in tech will be there. We are very excited to be partners, podcast partners of it.
Yeah.
And then
I think the first one this year happened in London.
Yes.
And this is the Accra version.
I'm very excited about this opportunity, and then we're looking forward to it. We'll also be hosting some of the participants,
the speakers.
The speakers on the show. I think the next one will be our next episode will be one of them.
Yes.
So look forward to it.
So she's from Mandela. Okay, we don't want to give out too many, but just do anticipate. It's on 26th to 27th of November, 2024.
If you have not bought a ticket, please go
buy a ticket, and you meet us there after all.
Yeah.
We also have Python Accra Festival 2024 happening November 23rd, 2024. I think the venue is to be determined. Okay. We have Code and Cocktails.
Big one.
Yes. The tech party of the year. So it's on November 29th. Are we a partner?
Yeah, we are a partner.
Yes, we are a partner.
We use our short code.
Bytes.
Short code, or how do you call it? Something code.
Discount code.
Bytes. Bytes. BYTE. Then get a discount on the tickets.
Yeah. Please use our short code, okay, and get that discount.
Promo code.
It's a promo code.
Promo code.
Okay. And then the final item would be nominations for the Ghana FinTech Awards. It's been opened and it is ending on November 25th. So if you know any FinTech that is doing well, that deserves an award next year. Sorry?
A FinTech that is working.
A FinTech that is working.
If you know any of them.
Okay, please nominate them. Nomination ends on November 25th, like I mentioned. And the awards is happening next year, March 1st, 2025. I think we're partners as well, right?
Yeah, we are partners.
Podcast partners as well.
Podcast partners. And we're also excited to be on it. Hoping to... we all know that most of the companies doing well in Ghana are fintechs. And we are looking forward to hosting some of them on the show also.
Yeah. So these are the opportunities in the tech space. Do look out for Demo Fridays 3.0 as well. December 20th, right?
Yeah, 20th.
Please put it down in your calendar and we'll meet you there. Over to you, Yaw.
How do I wrap up? Okay. So this is the end of our conversation. The show was brought to you by Haptel Academy and was recorded in the Haptel Academy studios. We got production support from Samuel, Pronto, and Augustine. Subscribe. I don't think we've mentioned subscribe.
Yes.
Please subscribe.
Give a review on Spotify or any
of the platforms that you're listening to. We'll be
like,
back.
Like, share,
comment.
All the things the YouTube people have been saying. Do all
of it.
Unless unlike. Nobody says unlike. So they don't say that one.
Right. So we'll be back next week with another exciting episode of Building Bytes. Thank you for watching. Okay, bye.
Bye.